what's going on? It's Beowulf. Man, sad day. This is going to be the last Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT video on the channel. I'm driving right now. I'm in North Carolina, and I'm looking at a vehicle to buy, trade in the Jeep. And some people will be like shocked, go, Beowulf, man, Jeep SRT is so cool. Why are you getting rid of it? You know, why? What's going on? Well, let me get down to why I want to trade the Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT in. The biggest thing is, let me shut this, it's not so windy coming from the sunroof. The big reason why I'm getting rid of it is when I bought the Jeep Grand Cherokee back in 2017, I was primarily, I wouldn't think I'd be living here in South Carolina when I bought the car. I mean, it was my life was in a whole nother world to what it is now. And originally, before I bought the Jeep SRT, I was gonna buy the new Ford Raptor, but the problem is all these dealers were selling them like 15, 20,000 over sticker, and I'm not gonna be some idiot paying that much more for a car, because it was right when they came out. So it would have been like 2017 Ford Raptors. And I was just like, forget it. And they were hard to find. And I was like, well, and then I got the Jeep SRT instead. Not knowing what I'm doing, like jet ski and all this stuff, no question, I wouldn't have bought the Jeep SRT. I would have got something else. So I don't know if I should hint what I'm getting, but in past videos you've been watching, I've talked about what I was looking at getting. And I found a really nice one that's actually the same year as my Jeep, and it has some stuff done to it, and I think it's the right realm to go with. Because see, the hard thing is when you're jet skiing, and my viewers that you do, you know, water sports, jet skiing, boating, please comment at the bottom too, like what type of vehicles you guys use to tow when you go out riding and whatnot. To me, right when I moved out here and bought the Sea Doos, the first place I launched, and this is even before I lowered the Jeep, I mean, the exhaust tips are going in the water. And I'm like, and I already bought the lowering kit, and I was like, well, I have to go through with it. I mean, I spent like over $1,000 for the lowering kit from BWoody for the Jeep SRT, and that's before it was lowered and it was having an issue. And then now with like all this flooding going on, like I think when I had to evacuate from my home, after the hurricane with all the flooding and just seeing all these areas, I mean, it gave me a real reality check that I want a vehicle that can like go over things, and I don't have to worry if the water's rising. Like I fled my house because there was a chance that like my whole neighborhood was going to go into water, and this vehicle can barely go that far in the water. If you've seen the last video or a couple videos back where I talked about should you lower your Jeep SRT, and then I drove around with flooding, and it's just like, this isn't even practical. And what's happened is like, since I moved out here in April, now it's rained 2 other times after the hurricane and stuff, and it's flooded now like a total of 3 times all over. So it's like, makes me go like, this isn't like a, you know, some of these people's homes that went underwater after the hurricanes, they've gone underwater another 2 times even after that, so a total of 3 times. And I'm kind of going like, all right, man, it's time to get out of this Jeep SRT, and I want to make sure I have somebody that can pull, you know, the jet skis, which aren't that much a weight, but it kind of, you know, you're trying to figure out, you know, what should I get, and the hard thing is with all this flooding, what I'm getting to is when I go to Myrtle's Inlet to go jet skiing, to get the jet skis in the water, you know, otherwise I'm lifting and pushing to get them off. I mean, I had to put the exhaust underwater on the Jeep, and that's already in salt water, and the wheels are like halfway underwater, and I can just tell you the Brembo brakes aren't made to go in the ocean, and the exhaust is not made to go in the ocean, and I need a lot higher vehicle. And you can't, you know, some people just raise your Jeep. The problem is this thing's made for like handling, and I was an idiot when I lowered the car. My stock springs, I had to throw away all the old stuff. Yeah, and it was like pretty expensive to lower the car. I have to tell you, it's like I think that was kind of, it handles, it looks cool, but it was a big mistake. And any of my viewers that are kind of looking, you know, having Jeep SRT and lowering it, don't do it. If you're planning pulling stuff, don't do it. And to me, like when I had to flee when the hurricane came, I had to pack anything that was valuable in my car. So it's like my dogs, you know, any of my, you know, electronic equipment, my guns, like all this stuff. I mean, it was just so much stuff I had to pack up in there. And it was scary. And to think that like it's going to happen again, no question, next year when it gets hurricane season or just in flooding in general, I just want to be ready. And once you've been like, you know, like before the hurricane too, I mean, it was like a week and a half before the hurricane where you couldn't buy anything, and then after the hurricane, it went weeks where like you couldn't buy fuel, you couldn't buy food, you couldn't buy anything. It was just like, holy cow. And I remember when I came back, because my flight, I went down to Orlando, and when I came back, there was this huge house that was on fire late at night when I'm driving back, and he had like 30 fire trucks, and I was almost home to Myrtle Beach, and people were waiting there for 4 or 5 hours. They couldn't go. And I'm just like dead tired. I was like, I couldn't drive anymore. And I asked the cop, I said, you know, is there any back road or something? And every road was shut down because of the flooding. And he said, well, take this one route. And as I had my GPS, it wasn't even like a road. It was like grass. And with this thing being lowered and whatnot, and I'm pulling a trailer with the jet skis. I mean, it was just like, it even made me then go like, it's time to like figure out what I'm doing with the Jeep SRT. And that's why I'm selling it, and it's been fun. I'm not telling you, it's gonna be sad about selling it, but you know, it's time to move on. And you know, too is, you know, like I think the big important things with the channel too is, you know, the Sea Doo related stuff, the water sport, and I just want to have a vehicle that's made for pulling, you know, where I could go in really far to properly get the jet skis off and not have them get ruined. So, you know, that's what I'm doing. So I don't know if I'm getting the vehicle because I haven't even seen it yet. So I figured this pre-video, just, you know, I'm going to use it or not if I get the vehicle. Oh, I almost gave away what it's going to be. Woo. Yeah, but I'm not leaving the Mopar family. So if that gives you guys a hint what it could be, yeah. So that's about what's going on, and you know, it's gonna be sad leaving this thing. I mean, you got the Alcantara the headliner up there, and you got the panoramic roof, seats, and it's just got the carbon fiber trim, this leather stitched dash. I mean, it's just it's a nice. You got the different modes there. It's a nice car. If I wasn't jet skiing and pulling stuff, I would just stick with the Hellcat. So, but you know, I got the dogs too. So, stay tuned to what the next video is. You know, if I get the vehicle that I'm planning on trading in. So, jetting out to North Carolina. Well, I'm in North Carolina. I'm jetting there. So, this is about the end of the video. Stay tuned. But I'll tell you, this is the last Jeep SRT video. So take it in, one last look. Oh man, especially that exhaust too. It's on. Let's get it. We got to hit the gas. Have a little space. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so that's the end of the video. Peace out.